There's a particular kind of silence that most people will never understand. It's not the silence of being alone. It's the silence of choosing to be alone, of looking at a phone that could connect you to the people who raised you, who share your blood, who sat across from you at thousands of meals and deliberately not picking it up. Some people reach a point in their lives where they walk away from their families entirely. Not in a moment of rage, not as a dramatic gesture, but as a quiet, considered, deeply painful decision that they carry with them every single day. And if you've ever wondered what kind of person does that, what breaks inside someone to make them sever the most fundamental bond human beings have, by the end of this video, you'll understand that nothing was broken at all. Something, in fact, was finally being repaired. You probably know someone like this, even if you don't realize it. They're the coworker who changes the subject when holidays come up, the friend who never mentions their parents, the person who, when asked where they're going for Thanksgiving or Christmas, gives a vague answer about keeping it small this year. They don't wear it on their face. They don't announce it. But underneath the surface, they carry an absence that most people around them can't even imagine, because in a world that treats family as sacred, choosing to leave yours feels like confessing to something unspeakable. Think about how deeply. Family is woven into the fabric of everyday life. Every commercial during the holidays shows generations gathered around a table. Every Mother's Day and Father's Day floods social media with gratitude posts. Every job interview, every casual conversation, every form you fill out assumes that family is there, that family is good, that family is the one thing you can always count on. Now, imagine living inside that world while knowing that the safest thing you ever did was leave yours behind. Imagine the cognitive dissonance of hearing that they're your family from people who have no idea what happened behind closed doors. That phrase, "but they're your family," lands on estranged people like a verdict, as if biology is a contract that overrides everything, as if sharing DNA means you owe someone unlimited access to your peace. Psychology has a name for what drives most family estrangement, and it's not what you might expect. It's rarely one catastrophic event. Researchers like Dr. Carl Poemer at Cornell, who conducted one of the largest studies on family estrangement, found that the decision to cut off family almost always follows years, sometimes decades, of accumulated emotional harm. It's a pattern of interactions that slowly teaches a person that they are not safe with the people who were supposed to make them feel the safest. Psychologists call this a rupture without repair, a cycle where harm is done, acknowledgement is withheld, and the injured person learns that their pain will never be validated within that system. Estrangement doesn't begin the day someone stops calling. It begins years earlier, in the hundreds of moments where they reached out for understanding and were met with denial, deflection, or blame. What makes this especially complex is the role of identity. Your family is the first mirror you ever look into. Before you know who you are, they tell you. They reflect back to you whether you are good or difficult, lovable or burdensome, worthy of attention or invisible. When that mirror is distorted, when the reflection you receive is that your feelings are too much, that your needs are inconvenient, that love is conditional upon compliance, you don't just grow up with low self-esteem. You grow up without a reliable sense of self at all. And the act of walking away from family is, for many people, the first time they ever chose their own reflection over the one that was handed to them. It looks like destruction from the outside. From the inside, it feels like the first honest thing they've ever done. There's a deeper layer here that connects to something much larger in modern life. We live in an era where people are, for the first time in human history, given cultural permission to question inherited structures. Previous generations endured dysfunction because there was no framework for leaving. No language for emotional abuse, no concept of boundaries as a legitimate psychological need. The rise of therapy culture, the accessibility of psychological knowledge, the slow erosion of the idea that suffering in silence is noble. All of these have given people tools their grandparents never had. And this is why estrangement rates are rising. Not because people are becoming more selfish or fragile, but because they are becoming more literate in their own pain. They can finally name what was done to them. And once you name something, you can no longer pretend it isn't there. But here's what almost no one talks about. The people who cut off their families don't stop loving them. That's the hidden cost, the part that stays invisible. Estrangement is not the absence of love. It's love that has been exhausted. It's the result of someone caring so deeply that they tried everything, the conversations, the forgiveness, the second chances, the lowered expectations, the desperate hope that this time it would be different, until they reached the devastating conclusion that the only person they had never tried protecting was themselves. People who cut off their families are not cold. They are people who burned so hot for so long that walking away was the only way to stop the fire from consuming them entirely. They grieve on birthdays, they grieve on holidays, they grieve on ordinary Tuesday afternoons when a song comes on the radio that reminds them of a kitchen they used to stand in as a child. The grief of estrangement is disenfranchised grief. Grief that the world doesn't acknowledge because the person you've lost is still alive, and because you're the one who chose it. And this is where something philosophical emerges. We treat family as though it operates under different rules than every other human relationship. If a friend belittled you repeatedly, dismissed your boundaries, made you feel small, and then demanded your loyalty, no one would question your decision to walk away. But when a parent does it, when a sibling does it, suddenly you are expected to absorb it indefinitely in the name of blood. The unspoken rule is that family is exempt from accountability, and the people who reject that rule are not breaking something. They are refusing to participate in a system that was already broken long before they were born. If you're watching this and you've made that choice, or you've been standing on the edge of it for years, afraid of what it says about you, here is what it says. It says you are someone who, against every instinct that told you to stay and endure, chose to believe that your inner life matters, that your peace is not a luxury, that you're allowed to build a life that doesn't require you to shrink yourself, to fit inside someone else's dysfunction. It doesn't make you a villain. It makes you someone who finally answered a question that was asked of you 1,000 times in 1,000 small moments. Will you abandon yourself to keep this going? And for the first time, you said no. The people who cut off their families are not people who gave up. They are people who finally stopped giving themselves away. And the silence they live in, that particular, heavy, chosen silence, is not empty. It is full of something that was never allowed to exist before. Their own voice. If this reached something in you, sit with it for a moment. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. And if you want to keep exploring ideas like this, the quiet, complicated, deeply human things that no one talks about enough, subscribe to Mind Reader 99. There's more here for you whenever you're ready.